So today I am going to take you through the steps on how to record your continuous assessment on the UNEB software, which is called AMIS, Assessment Management Information System. So the interface looks like this. So first, this software is provided by UNEB. So if your school has not got a copy, you can still get from a sister school, maybe a neighbor school somewhere, and then install it in your computer. The good part of it, it works offline. And those who have ever registered as students for UNEB for either UACE or UCE or even PLE, this is the very software we use. So you install it, and when you launch, the interface looks like this. So we are mainly going to deal with the second interface and then the second last. So that's where our concentration will be. So the second interface here is continuous assessment, which is abbreviated as CA. Somewhere we shall meet this CA, so we have known what it means. So after launching, you click on continuous assessment, and then you have these menus here, these options here appear. Now, registering learners should be done by one teacher in a school. In that way, all the learners will be registered with their different details. I'll briefly take you through, but this should be done by one teacher, after which he will share the registered learners with all other subject teachers. This is mainly for Senior 3 and Senior 4. So you click register learners, and then after clicking, you wait for it to load, and this is the interface you'll get when you click registering learners. So you put the year, probably 2024. Now you can put CA or center number. Now CA is for those schools that do not have center number. UNEB will give them continuous assessment number, which you can still use here to register your learners. Then the name of the school, and then now the year. This is for the learner, when the year the learner did PLE, the index number. And when you put the index number, the name of the learner and other details here will automatically fill. There are very few that you will need to fill, maybe the NIN number. These ones which are faint, most of them will be filled when you put the correct index number. And then the subject you tick according to what the learner is taking, and then after you save. Now that is done for every learner until you finish all the learners. But as I told you at first, it should be done by one teacher at school. Maybe the teacher who used to register students for UNEB can go ahead and do this. Then after he has done that, he will come back on continuous assessment, go to submit Excel. Then when you click submit Excel, you put the details here. For example, 2014, and then the center number. Let me sample this one. And then the class that he has registered, and then the term. And then you come down here and load. Then when it loads, the details will come like that. The details will come like that. So you export to Excel. You export it to Excel. That is the one teacher who is registering. You give it a certain name, for example, Senior 3 learners, something like that. Maybe term 2, like that. And you save it in a location you know. And then after saving, that is the copy that you'll share with other teachers. Now I can check on that. I can check that from the desktop. Senior 3 learners, it is here. So that is the copy you share with the teachers of the various subjects. So after doing that, now the teachers, this is what you will do. When you receive that copy into your computer, or the computer you're going to use, you will come now to utilities. Under utilities, you click there, and go to the last option, which is import continuous assessment data. So you click here. Then after clicking there, what are you going to do here? You're going to import that data you're interested in. So you come on the first option, load learners from Excel. So you click there, and after clicking there, go to the desktop and look for the list that was given to you by the person who registered, and which is, for example, this. You click on it and then open. When you open, they will come here. After doing that, don't forget to save records. That is the first step. Don't forget to save records. So you save the records. Now you have got the list of the learners you're going to use. So what next? This is what comes next. Now it takes some time saving, so you leave it to load until it saves the data completely. As you can see, it is still scrolling. And then now we are going to go and start to score them. But what I want you to keep in mind is that before you come on the portal, now after it is done, it's supposed to show like this: data saved successfully. That this should pop up before you continue. But what I was mentioning was that before you come to enter data here, you must have scored learners using the checklist, the observation checklist. So here you will come just to record data. So when it says data saved successfully, you click OK, and now you can come to continuous assessment again first. You go back here because you have already imported your data you're going to use. So you click on this, and now we can start with any. But before I go to that, I'm going to briefly show you how you can get the observation checklist. Observation checklist is under continuous assessment and is here. You click here, then here you type the type you want. For example, when I click here, you can either get a checklist for projects, and when you click automatically, it will load using the PDF reader that you have. It will load the checklist like this, and you can see all the details there. I can still go back, and if I want, for example, for the subjects, to score the subjects using the checklist, you come here. Now the subjects, you go to class and select, say, senior 3, term, say term 2, and then subjects, say subject, say any subject, let me say ICT. When you click automatically, it will load for you the checklist. This is continuous assessment for ICT senior 3 term 2, and then all these details, the center number, CA, the year, the learners, you'll fill this. I'll come back to this later on, but for now, if you wanted to load, that's how you can get this observation checklist for both the subjects and the project. So I'll go back here. Now imagine I've already scored my learners, and then I just want to enter the data. So you'll come here, for example, if it is the subject achievement, you'll click on this, capture subject achievement, and then you're going to put here either your center number or the CA number if the school is not registered. So center number, let me use this, and then the school name, you don't have to put it because the center number will get the school name. You need automatically, it comes there. You need the class, you need the term, and you also need the subject. Select any subject of the one you are teaching. So now I'm going to use ICT. So after clicking this, automatically you get these details. Now these are the sample learners that are loaded the other time from Excel, the few sample learners. So when it comes here, now here I'd already done this and filled this. Let me first remove some few and you'll see. Now you could be wondering, where am I getting this data here? This is where I'm getting this data. This data is from the checklist, and I'm going to show you how this data comes about. So let me first remove all of them. I'm going to show you how this data comes about. Now you remember we loaded the checklist, the observation checklist for both project and the subject. So I'll start with subject. So the marks we put here comes from those checklists. Let's say we have this checklist here. The first thing is, this is subject checklist. So you come on the subject checklist and see you ticked this, say you ticked this, you ticked this, and then in the box there is what you put here and there's what you put here. For level 1 indicator here, what you put here and what you put here after ticking this. We have this and then this one, CS and GS. Then again you tick this and then put you put something. So the number, the figure, if this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, if the learner got all these 5, you are putting it here. So when you put, that is the one you are going to transfer here. So for subject score, which is the SC that you should have scored, the SC, and then generic skills. So you are going to check on it and then put it here. So if there were 5, the highest mark should be 5. If there were 4, the highest should be 4. If you go to generic skills, now if I put, for example, 10, and generic skills were not going up to 10, when I click next, it will say, please enter numbers between 6, 0, and 6. So you can't enter beyond that. So you can only enter in that range. So you enter for all your learners as you wish. And by the way, you can even enter for just 2 learners and save. Then come and enter again for other learners another time. That's a good part of it. So after entering all, for example, here it will base, and keep in mind the levels. There is level 1, level 2, level 3, level like that. And it is also labeled like that on the observation checklist. So you follow from the observation checklist the levels, and then you are going to put them here according to that. Let me sample show you. For example, which level is this? This is level 2 manipulation. So there is level 1 here, imitation. So there is level 2 and level 3 and so on and so forth. So you also fill them according to their level here until you finish. Now there is an instance where a learner may leave school or drop. You use this drop down arrow, you click on it. So if a learner is either transferred, dropped out, suspended, deceased, or absent, you use one of these options for that purpose. Maybe he got first level, second level, third level, rather he got here and here and here, but when he reached maybe this level 3, the learner dropped off, you use dropped like that. Or when he reached here, maybe the learner was absent or deceased, you also use accordingly. And then after, you can save your data. You always need to see this pop up before you be contented, and then you click OK. So you can fill for 1 learner, 2 learners, depending on the time you have, and then come back and do another time. So that is how you can put the subject scores. Then you go back here. You can also do the same for projects. You click on capture project achievement, and then you put these details here. This is the center number or C number, and then you select the class you want to use, and then you collect the competence for that class. Now under competence here, there is either project planning or implementation. So you click accordingly, and then when you click load, even if you do not, in most cases it appears here. So also this is from the checklist of the project. The checklist of the project is here. So you'll have this. For example, under project planning, the first one here, review this and this. If you tick all this, if these are all correct, you put here 3. And that's what you're going to put here. For example, the first identifier could be 3, and then the second one could be 2, the third one could be maybe 4, and it should be within the range of the ticks you put the other side. If you see, I put here 4, and should be between 0 and 2. So it has to. So I can put 1. So if the learner, for example, in the process left, you can also use maybe dropped and so on and so forth. After, remember to first save your data. Even this part, and when it brings this, you say okay. Even this part you can save just like 2 learners or 3, and then save, and you can even come and add others later. You can also do the same for activity of integration. You enter subject activity of integration, A or I scores. You click here, still load learners in the same way, 418, and then put the class, put the term, and then put the subject you're loading for. Let me pick even this for now, and then load. The learners come here, and now see this whatever this subject CRE had only one competence, so you do. Let me do for ICT, and then you see the competences which are there under ICT. Let's say this is ICT and the load. So there are two competences for that term 2. So you will fill here, and you fill according to between 0 to 3. And you remember, the worst learner can only get 0.9, and then the highest can only get 3. If I put, for example, here 0.1, and I want to continue to the next, it will refuse, telling you it should be between 0.9 and 3. So I can't put anything beyond that. So you put the identifiers here, say 2.7, and it will accept. After doing that, you still save your data. And then after saving your data, if you wanted just to print to see, you can print if you have a printer. But you need to end at saving your data. So this one is supposed to be done by every subject teacher like that. And then after that, you can submit. We did this at the beginning. The very way I submitted at first is the very way you can also submit. You click here and then load it to Excel. So you can rewind back to see if you missed. So that is simply how you enter your data. So this is supposed to be done by every individual subject teacher in different, can be the same application or different, rather the same computer or different, but I would recommend every subject teacher can use his or her own computer for convenience. And then you can get the data and give it the person who will submit it or upload it in the portal. So that is simply how we put marks in the AMIS. If you like this video, please subscribe. That's one way of encouraging me and supporting me, but also such that you don't miss any other important video like this that we shall upload later. Thank you for watching once again.